Hello, I'm Richard Latour, Editor-in-Chief of Naval History Magazine. Today it's my honor to recognize the sacrifice and accomplishments of a great and beloved man. As some of you know, Admiral Daly makes a point personally to thank those who achieved 50 years of membership in the Naval Institute. During one of these conversations a couple of years ago, the Admiral asked retired Naval Reserve Lieutenant Carl Skip Schumacher about his naval service. "Oh, I served in a supply ship making runs in the Tonkin Gulf, and then I transferred to a former cargo ship," he replied. "It was the AGER-2, the Pueblo?" Admiral Daly asked. "Yes, indeed. Skip Schumacher was operations officer on board the spy ship 51 years ago, when he was a 24-year-old Lieutenant JG. North Korea held him and the rest of those on board prisoner for 11 months. Follow-up emails and phone calls I exchanged with Lieutenant Schumacher resulted in his article, Hellenbach, which posthumously has earned him Naval History Author of the Year honors. A native of St. Louis, Skip Schumacher sadly passed away in May 2018, several months after his article was published. He was a graduate of Trinity College, where he majored in religious studies. After serving in the Navy, he earned an MBA from Harvard Business School and had a long career in banking and finance. Hellenbach, which commemorated the 50th anniversary of the Pueblo incident, serves as a reminder of North Korea's history of lawlessness and brutality. Lieutenant Schumacher delivers a gripping account of the attack on and capture of the Pueblo in international waters. He goes on to recollect the severe beatings and interrogations endured by the ship's officers, enlisted men, and 2 civilian oceanographers. The author also describes how the prisoners were forced to write and sign numerous false confessions and apologies, sit for stage photos, and make television appearances. But according to Schumacher, the Pueblo's skipper, Commander Lloyd Bucher, created a mandate of resistance that resulted in the prisoners largely foiling North Korea's attempts to make them propaganda pawns. This included using stilted, archaic, and outlandish language in their confessions and apologies, which were written collaboratively. What Lieutenant Schumacher did not reveal in his article was the extent of his own creative involvement in the writing. According to Commander Bucher, Skip was by far our most skillful man with words. His theological studies had given him a command of biblical language, which, combined with his sharp wit, resulted in long-winded, flowery verbosity, signifying absolutely nothing. After the crew's release in December 1968, Lieutenant Schumacher received the Silver Star for his conspicuous gallantry during the attack on the Pueblo, and the Bronze Star for his defiance and total resistance toward his captors. Today, we're honored to have with us a survivor of the Pueblo ordeal, oceanographer Harry Iredale. Could you please stand, Mr. Iredale? Also here is the son of Pueblo Seaman Robert Hill, Commander Josh Hill. Josh Hill, could you please stand? Right here in the back. Accepting the Author of the Year award on Lieutenant Schumacher's behalf are his son, John Schumacher, and stepdaughter, Irene Allen.
Well, we're tall. Skip was snarky. If anyone who knows Skip, he knows he was snarky. He was irreverent every moment of every day without ever once being disrespectful. and he rode this perfect line. And I called him our smooth glass lake because of his ability to get through horrible situations with silly comments. We were reminded of this when he was dying. He saw how scared and sad we were. And he cracked jokes in order to, show the nursing staff that he was a smart, coherent man. He cracked jokes to remind us to take squeeze every smile you can out of any horrible situation, no matter who you might think you're offending. And also he cracked jokes so that he indelibly embedded these smiles into the memory of this horrible experience. He luckily died very quickly and peacefully. It was about 3 weeks. He went to the office one day, 3 weeks later, boom, gone. So it was very fast and very scary. And I was going to give quite a different speech until I had dinner with someone who was in the Navy on Monday and was reminded that not everyone in the Navy believed that the Pueblo crew were an example of what to do when captured. And fuming on the heels of that, I'd like to say thank you so much from us, from the families, for everyone who did think these guys were heroes, because they are. And Skip conducted himself with honor every moment of every day. And I think in his irreverence, he'd say that since this award was posthumous, his record with the U.S. Navy is perfect. Thank you.
I'll just add that it's an honor to be here on behalf of our father. We thank the Naval Institute and accept this award as humbly inadequate stand-ins for him. As mentioned, he was a lifelong 50-plus year member of U.S. Naval Institute. He would have been very proud to receive this. Our father literally gave the North Koreans the middle finger. Given the chance to speak today, I think he would have told you that the Pueblo incident could be a case study of American actions and also missteps in the Cold War, one that should be preserved and learned from. He would point out, as he did at the conclusion of every speech that he gave or talk on it, that the crew never did receive a formal apology or acknowledgement from the Navy for their actions. And he would also say that the crew of the Pueblo performed honorably and loyally throughout the attack, capture, and captivity. Their resistance to beatings, torture, and exploitation was led by their commanding officer, Captain Bucher. Speaking on Bucher's cunning, intelligence, and quick-wittedness, our father wrote, "He pumped back fight into this beaten crew. By force of his own example, he restored their emotional life, their pride in being American Navy men." Bucher leveraged the crew's uniquely American traits: fierce independence, indignance in the face of an opposed enemy, and free minds that were intelligent and had the freedom to think creatively and critically. Our father was sent to a situation he was not adequately prepared for, was held prisoner by people that had a lifelong hatred for him, and was brutally beaten, but he was not alone. He was with a highly intelligent and creative crew. They got each other through it, and he was proud to be a part of it. Their efforts to undermine an enemy did not come from training, but from the heart of every American. Skip Schumacher was proud to call himself an American Navy man. Thank you.